Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss Bangalore University 6th semester BBA Strategic Management subject. In that subject, we will be discussing unit number 4, Implementation of Strategy. In this unit, we will be discussing session number 39, Structural Consideration. So, let us discuss the meaning of structure, then how the structural considerations are made for different types of structures of business available. Let us see one by one. See, first we need to understand here 2-3 important aspects. So what are those 2-3 important aspects? Let us understand the meaning of structure here. What is structure? Structure is the arrangement of tasks required to implement a strategy. See, if we do not arrange the tasks which are required to be implemented, the organization will not be successfully implementing its strategy, whether it is a commercial strategy or non-commercial strategy. See, first of all, we need to understand here 3 key components. When we are understanding the implementation of a strategy, 3 important components play a very important role here, or you can call it as the organizational strategies. That has 3 important components. The very first one is identifies formal relationship. It first identifies what is the formal relationship between the various activities and the strategy to be implemented. What is the span of control, number of levels in the hierarchy, who is at the top and who is at the middle and who is at the bottom level. The second one is it specifies grouping of individuals into departments, departmentalization of activities. The third one is design of a system to ensure effectiveness, coordination and integration of the efforts across departments. These are the 3 important components to be present while implementing the structure or structural implementation of any strategy. First, we have to divide the tasks, different tasks, and the people in charge for different tasks, and then we need to coordinate and control all these things with the help of proper implementation of the strategy. See, when we are discussing about the structural implementation, we need to understand that structural consideration affects the implementation of present strategy. As you can see on the screen, structural consideration affects the implementation of present strategy and formulation of future strategies. That means there is a reciprocal relationship between strategy and structure. Structural implementation is in fact an ongoing process of matching the structure of an organization with its strategy. Coordination of the structure with the strategy made. Basically, there are 2 kinds of structures: vertical structure and horizontal structure. So when we consider the vertical structure, it involves division of labor and specialization. Then when we see a horizontal structure, it is the process of integrating among the members in an organization. It is a sort of cross-functional system and teamworks. So vertical is division of labor based on the specialization. Horizontal is among the same groups, among the members in an organization, cross-functional system. where the shared tasks are there, flexible rules and regulations are there, horizontal communication is there, decentralization of decision making can be seen. But when we see the different types of organizational structures available, we can see that the entrepreneurial structure, the very first one is entrepreneurial structure. It is one of the important types of organization structure. In this type of business organization, it is basically the elementary form of a business structure. Here, the organization owned and managed by a single person. Typically, organizations serving single business or a single product or several local markets, or the owner looks after all the decisions here, day-to-day operations of the strategic nature. See here the hierarchy is very simple. Owner can be the manager or manager can be the owner, and only one or two supporting staff or workers to this type of structure, entrepreneurial structure, where a single man is managing the hotel, a single man is managing the business activity, a single man is managing the day-to-day functioning of its business, from purchasing to selling. So here the hierarchy is very simple, owner as a manager and then the employee. Or sometimes there won't be any assistants or there won't be any supporting staff at all. This type of organization structure is very simple actually, because decision making is very fast here, very quick decision making, and there can be a timely response to the environmental changes can happen here, because you need not pass on the information or pass on the environmental changes message to the different categories of levels of workers. Once the owner or the manager identifies that something is happening in an organization or its surroundings, some changes are happening in terms of political environment, in terms of economic environment, in terms of social environment, in terms of technological environment, or in terms of methods of production or sales of a product, suddenly, immediately and quickly this person can grasp it and immediately be flexible enough to quickly respond to the situation. It is also important because it is less formal. That means it is informal and simple organizational system. But the entrepreneurial structure sometimes causes losses because there is lot of excessive reliance. You rely upon what you believe. You don't have the option here to ask with your fellow colleagues or to clarify any doubt with your friends whether this is correct or incorrect. You are relying upon your own knowledge, relying upon your own decision making, which may cause future losses, or which may not be up to the mark. See, in this type of business structure or entrepreneurial structure, there can be a distraction of your attention. Since a single person is managing the whole business, there may be distractions in the form of so many things. Maybe competition, maybe change of government rules, or maybe technological changes, or the changes in terms of customers' taste and preferences, etc. And at the same time, this type of business, sometimes if you want to expand, it becomes difficult because the people, the supporting staff are less in this type of organizational structure. See, the second organizational structure that we have for implementation is functional structure. See, it seeks to distribute decision making and operational authorities to each functional department. See, there are so many functional managers, there are so many functional areas in the organization, like finance department, marketing department, production department, sales department, supply chain and logistics department, human resource management or personnel department, training and development department, compensation department, procurement department, dispatch department, accounts department. There are public relation department. There are so many departments in the organization. They perform their own functions. They are all called as functional areas. So the functional structure concentrates on, as I told you, it seeks to distribute the decision making, decentralization of decision making in functional structure here. Whoever is the operational authority may be the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Now the terminology has changed. In Companies Act of 2013, the terminology of the responsible people who works in an organization has changed. So whoever is the operational authority, decision making is vested in their hands in functional structure. Decentralization of decisions. So what could be the benefits of these type of structures? What considerations we can make here? See here, what happens is when we assign, when a operational authority, when the top level authority assign some work to the functional managers, at that time this operational authority can assess the strengths and weaknesses of each functional manager or each functional department, and based on that assessment he can share the responsibility, and that will definitely give good results because of selecting the people to operate in a particular department for a particular task depending upon their specialization. So specialization here gives lot of benefit. Then delegation of responsibilities and authorities of day-to-day operations will definitely give very good coordination and a good human touch and human bond among the workers. And it provides the time for top management and focuses on strategic decisions. So in functional structure, we have lot of time to discuss with the top management, because it is the top management only who has identified the work and assigned the work, delegated the work to the functional managers or functional personnel. So at that time what happens, there will be a communication between the management as well as the workers, supervisory level or low level workers. So there will be a lot of time for strategic decision making. But at the same time, see, if there are more people involved, if the span of control is very high, at that time there is a problem of coordination. If there are too many people to report to a particular person or particular authority, at that time there will not be a proper, effective and efficient coordination. It leads to conflict among line managers, functional managers or staff. As I told you, there will be some difference of opinion between the employer and employee, or employee and employee, and because of that difference of opinion there may be some conflicts. So therefore we have to consider this also when we are understanding the functional structure of an organization. Let us discuss the third important one, that is third important structure, that is divisional structure. See, the implementation of strategy depends upon the division of that organization, its structure. Here we will analyze here few important things. What are those? Whether the organization is divided depending upon or based on or divided on the basis of product lines or types of customers served and geographical area covered. This is very, very important one. We need to understand this concept. Here in divisional structure, the work is divided on the basis of three important things. Product lines. What are the products that we are manufacturing? Whether we are manufacturing automobile products, cosmetic products, electronic products, cloths, iron and steel products, what type products we are manufacturing and selling, what for we are, what are our product lines, and what is the length and width and mix of our product line. In one product, how many other types of products we are manufacturing? For example, when we are manufacturing a shampoo, in shampoo, do we have only sachet or we have bottle? If we are manufacturing a hair dye, do we have a shampoo type hair dye or a powder hair dye? When we are manufacturing a soap, do we have the soap in the form of liquid or the soap in the form of solid? Do we have soap of different prices, different fragrances, different purposes, for different purposes? Likewise, in divisional structure, the organization is divided into different product lines. Not only that, types of customers. So what type of customers an organization has, whether they have the middle class customer or the low level customer, the low income group customers, or the premium customers, royal customers or rich customers. There are certain staple goods. There are some goods which have got the premium value. When once a person purchases those products, the others will feel that they are rich people. For example, diamond. For example, gold. For example, the highly automated cars. So these are the royal products which are meant for rich category of people. So we have to see here that in a divisional structure, whether the division of our company's product for different types of customers or only one type of customer. That is another important division that we need to understand. And the geographical area covered. Most of the time what happens, if the company's product and its goodwill is good, and if the company is old and it has its branches in the host and home countries, foreign countries, if the company is bigger in size or if the company is larger in size, multinational in nature, so its geographical area naturally will be more. So what it does is it divides the geographical area, and thereby after dividing the geographical area into zones, it will implement its business strategy. So the strategy consideration here changes in divisional structure from one product line to another, from one type of customer to another, if they have different product lines, if they have different customers, and from one geographical area to another geographical area. They cannot have the same considerations of structural considerations for all types of divisions. No, they cannot. See here, the product line or the geographical area or the type of customer, each separate division or units are created and placed under divisional level, and functional structure still operates. See, divisional level, north division, south division, east division, west division, or the home country division, the host country division. Even though they have been divided up according to the divisions, because it is a divisional structure, though they have been divided according to the divisions, functional structure still operates. Functional structure means each division perform its own function. See, this divisional structural consideration, organizational structure enables grouping of functions. You can group the functions according to the product lines. You can group the functions according to the types of customers you have. You can group the functions according to the geographical areas you are covering for manufacturing and selling your product. While doing so, you can create quick response and enable top management to focus on strategic decision. Dear students, divisional structure divides the organization into product lines, into geographical area, into types of customers. It has got quick responses. You can group the functions according to the types of divisions you have, but at the same time allocation of resources becomes a problem due to the rules and regulations differ from one division to another division, and there may be a lack of consistency, or there may be an inconsistency when you are sharing the authorities and responsibilities between different divisions. There will not be consistency, because one person is important in one division, the same person may not be important in another division, because one rule is the rules are simple in one division but the rules are complicated in other division. So here what happens is the problem of allocation of resources, 5 M's: men, money, material, markets, methods and machines, sometimes becomes difficult because of changes in the environment, changes in the rules and regulations. So here what happens is the chief executive officer cooperate the finance department, chief executive officer cooperate the legal department, general manager division A, general manager division B. You can convert them into division A or division B. Marketing division A, division B, HRM division A, division B. Likewise, division wise you can divide the overall functions, and each function still perform their own functions, be it marketing, finance, production, logistics, sales. They are all functional departments, though the organization is divided based on the divisions of product line, customers and the geographical area, but still the functional areas, important functions of the organization, they perform their own functions. There is no change in them. Now let us discuss the next type of organizational structure, that is matrix structure. See, in matrix structure, in large organization there will be more number of tasks. For each particular department there will be more number of tasks. See, I am talking of big organizations. I am talking of an organization which is multinational in nature, or which produces and sells in large quantities of goods and services of any type. So here in large organizations there will be too much of activities, and each activity is considered as one project, and each project is significant. Such kind of structure is created by looking into the specialization of workers there. Whether it is a new product or a new service. See, the work will be more. There will be handling of more than one project. Each project needs special attention, needs special work. So identifying the special workers, assigning those special workers to that special project. During the duration of execution of work, the project specialist from different areas, from group or team, reporting to the team leader here. There will be a team leader, quality circle manager. So they will go and report directly to the team leader about what is the work that they have performed, special work that they have performed to the special task given. These specialists will be working under their project and in their parent department simultaneously. They work in their parent department, at the same time they work with this special project simultaneously. So in a matrix organization, there will be huge number of activities. Each activity is called a project, and each project requires a special skill, and those specialist workers are available within the organization only. What the people will do is, organization CEO or the top authorities will do to execute the work is very simple. They bring specialists from different departments of the organization, assign that special task to them. Apart from this, their parent department, they perform this function also. This happens in most of the times in automobile industry, in locomotive industry, in aeronautical industries, in making of machines, manufacturing of machines. Okay, in Coimbatore you can see this type of example where matrix organization structures are followed. When you go and see in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, how they manufacture the aeronautics, the spare parts of the aeroplane, or how they manufacture the aeroplane, you can identify. And in locomotive industries, the engine or spare parts of the railways, how it is being manufactured, all these things you can observe in this type of organizations. See, this type of organization structure allows individual specialists to be assigned. That means it gives importance to the specialists. That means it fosters the talent. That means it gives importance to the skill-based workers, human resources. Then it provides good exposure to the specialist, good scope for their development, future development. But dual accountability creates confusion among employees. Most of the time what happens is they have to work in their own department and they should work there also. Sometimes it creates confusion, sometimes it consumes more time and it causes stress. Accountability also matters here. Where they are accountable, in the parent department or in the special department for which they are assigned the special task. The shared authority and shared responsibility may create communication problems here. So all these things are there when we concentrate on the matrix structure. Then let us discuss the other types of organizational structures, that is product based structure. The name itself is self-explanatory. Product based structure, organizational structure, it is based on the type of product the organization manufactures or the type of product line that they have. Such a need arises when the strategy adopted requires exclusive attention to a group of product or services. For example, if the company manufactures and sells only baby products, maybe napkins, maybe soap or detergent or talcum powder, specific product or specific product line. So this type of structure and this type of organizational structure can be seen in cosmetic products, in baby products. So it creates it group the activities of the organization on the basis of the product or on the basis of the product lines that they manufacture. In each product line, what are the What is the length and width of this product line? See, it helps in optimum utilization of specialized skills and equipments. When we do like this, no, similar type of products are manufactured in the product line, same type of products. Only the design is changing, only the color is changing, only perfume is changing. Everything is same. Similar type of customers, more or less similar type of prices. It enables the fixation of responsibility for profit making and usages of resources properly. Therefore, this type of product based organizational structures are also be witnessed in day-to-day business environment. The next one is customer based structure. See, it is a structure of organization which is based on customer groups served. Separate and distinct customer groups. See, it is a type of an organizational structure which is designed and operated on the basis of separate type of customers served. For example, in bank, if you see, there are different types of customers. Therefore, different sections are divided in banks. For crop loan, for housing loan, for education loan, for deposits, for withdrawals, for marketing of securities, for opening the demat account, for opening the current account, for different types of customers, for different types of functions are performed in single bank. Since there are some companies which are meant for specific brand of customers, especially the fast food industry in metropolitan cities have emerged and increased today only because the members in the families are working, they go outside to work, they don't have time even to prepare the food. So it could be Swiggy, it could be KFC, McDonald's, etc. It serves the specific group of customers. See, petrol bunks are available on the highway roads. Motels will be there along with the petrol bunks. Why? To serve the specific group of customers who travel during night time, who travel from long way, or who may need some sort of refreshments, they may need some food, they may need some juice. So motels, not hotels, motels are available in petrol bunks. You can take the example of the initiatives taken by some of the oil and petrol companies. So here, to give the example, there are many examples for that matter. Let us understand this concept, thinking that there are special group of customers who need a special type of products in special time. Therefore, we are meant for that particular customers. Insurance policies for insurance policies after retirement benefits, gratuity benefits, benefits post retirement. So there are companies who are, there are so many non-banking financial corporations today, they have emerged to serve all these types of things to the people. See here, When we look into the different types of customers that we have, and we are based on that only, see, I will give one more example. See, Johnson and Johnson is a specialist for a special group of customers. So that is the baby products. Today Johnson and Johnson in United States, they have taken the initiative of vaccinating the people of United States. They have invented a vaccine as a precautionary measure for this corona COVID-19 pandemic, and they have taken the initiative in United States of giving vaccination to the people of America there in one particular area, locality. Earlier they were targeting baby products, now they have jumped into vaccination. You can take the examples like that. There are many examples. See, this will help in employment of marketing orientation to serve customers. It is applicable only if volume of individual customer groups justifies a response. See, it depends upon it will be successful only if, that means to say that it is successful only when there is a good perception in the minds of customer. After all, customer based structure is very important today. Today's modern concept of marketing says that try to know through your research and development department what is the need of a customer, what is the want of a customer, what is the demand of a customer, and then try to manufacture according to the need, try to manufacture the product which matches the demand or want of a customer, because it says, further says that it is the customer only who give employment to all the people in the organization, including the owner of the organization. So customer should be given core importance, a high level of importance in customer based structure. Now let us discuss the next one, that is the process based structure. So here, instead of product, or instead of that, we are going to discuss now which one, process based structure. Here this organization structure based on the processes which are performed one after the other to convert a particular product into a usable product. It can be to convert a raw material into finished product. See, in most of the industries, we can see in cola making industry, or we can see the medicinal industries or the eatables, raw materials are fed into first machinery, finished goods are taken out from the last machinery. But there are some organizations where the processes are distributed and dispersed. One product is maintained here, for example automobile, big engine is fixed in the central part, rest of the assemblies are done, the work of creating the assemblies is done in different places. Maybe for a two-wheeler, engine is fixed in one central place, that is one process. Another process is for two-wheeler, what is the tin work in some other place, that is another process. Painting, tinkering, one process. Electrification and wiring, another process. Fixation, another process. Trial, another process. So here all these processes are bring together to a main area and the product is produced. So here what happens is different processes to manufacture a particular product are divided in different localities or in different places, maybe distant or maybe near, depends. So most of the time what happens is this type of organizational structure are followed in automobile industry, are followed in food industry, ready to eat food industry. But the problem here is if there is any bottleneck in any of the middle process or machinery, the whole process gets stuck. It will stop. That is the biggest disadvantage. Otherwise, it is very quick, very less time consuming, very fast. Everything knows its performance, everything knows its function. But once there is any bottleneck or any problem in between, the whole process need to be stopped unless it is repaired. There is a big headache. Now let us discuss the last one, the geographic structure. The name itself is telling expansion and diversification structure. It's a type of structure where there is a scope for expansion, there is a scope of diversification, there is a scope of multi-plant, there is a scope of multi-unit programs in different parts of the country, in different geographical structures, spreading of the organization in different geographical areas. The best example is multinational companies and transnational companies. They work in different countries in different areas with different types of products. By doing so, what happens is you can decentralize the authority, make use of the local resources, produce the things, sell them, gain the profit. Keep on improving your wealth as well as profit. You can make use of local available resources, men, money, material, machines, markets, methods, all these things. It is possible only if there is a high level of coordination and good discipline and skillful workers available, the workers who are having a proper corporate culture. Otherwise, it is not possible to run an organization in different parts of the world. It's not possible. There will be a problem with that of coordination otherwise. So dear students, again in geographical structure we have to see there are so many dimensions of doing the business throughout the globe. There are so many manifestations, but anyhow we have to understand that there are different rules in different countries. So the rules are not same, they are not convenient, they are not easy. From licensing to the establishment to manufacturing to selling, everything the rules are laid out. For everything the rules are laid out in all the countries. Therefore, geographic structure needs all these analysis. We need to consider all these factors here for implementation of this strategy. At the end of this session, multiple choice questions are given. So go through these questions. If you do not understand, feel free to call. Study material is also provided. See to it that you collect study material from other sources and try to you can incorporate that study material with this study material and gain more knowledge. So till then, If you don't understand, keep on listening to this video and try to understand these concepts, organization structures. We will meet next session. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye bye.